The last thing we're going to look at for lesson 39 for recursion is the Fibonacci sequence. So you may recall learning this in math where the first two numbers are 0 and then 1. And then all the other numbers are made up by adding together the two before it. So 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 5 is 13, 13 plus 8 is 21, 21 plus 13 is 34, and it can go on and on and on and on and on. And this is actually found in nature too. So it's a number that mathematicians use, engineers use. It's recurring in nature everywhere. So in Java, this is actually one of the easier things to do with recursion, as long as we approach it with recursion. So the thing we need to remember with Fibonacci is that whatever is the first term, 0. Whatever is the second term, I copy and paste that whole thing instead of retyping. Second term is 1. And the nth term takes the one before it, so Fibonacci n minus 1, and adds one before that, so Fibonacci n minus 2. So this is the setup we're going to use to set up our Fibonacci sequence that's going to help us. So for this program that we're going to write, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to send it a number. So we're system.out.println, and I'm going to call it fib because typing out Fibonacci, I don't know if you notice, is a little cumbersome. And we're going to send it a number. So what we want to do for this is I'm a little bored just determining everything. So let's have a little user interaction. So the first thing you need to do is import IO and import util. And then we need to create a scanner. So we create a scanner to say enter an integer. Then we take whatever integer they entered, store it in I. So we're going to send our fib method I. So whatever someone enters on the keyboard is what we're going to send. So now what we need to do is we need to get out of our main method. We need to create our Fibonacci method. So public static and then return an int. We'll call this fib. It's going to take an int n. No semicolon. That was my bad. Okay, we're going to create an if statement. Scroll down a little bit to make sure this is going right. And an else. And since we're telling it it's an int, all of these are going to have return and return. We don't know what we're returning yet, but we're getting it ready just so we can get kind of our bare bones in there. Okay, so let's put in some rules of Fibonacci first. So if, look at our first rule up here. If we're at spot 0, it should be 0. So if n is equal to, remember double equals 0, we get 0. So we return 0. Okay, we have another rule though. So we're going to turn this not just into an else, but into an else. So else if n is double equal to 1, it's going to return 1. Now we can come down here and do our last else. So for all other rules. So spot 0 returns to 0, spot 1 returns to 1, and now we're going to put together our actual Fibonacci calculation here. And I do have an error here. It's because I didn't put in a bracket. That was also why my ifs and else's were all the way over. I'm going to put in a close bracket there. Now it shouldn't be too happy, but now it wants us to do something with else. So now we return that last Fibonacci code. So else we return fib n minus 1 plus fib n minus 2. So let's go ahead and run our code. Make sure it works right. So we run enter 5. So it's giving us 5. So let's see if that's right. So do 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. That's the 5th number. Run it again. Test it with another number. We did it with 8. Gives us 21. That's also correct. So you can test this over and over and over again, and it should work every time. So now what you guys have is you are going to be doing for your project for this lesson is a modified Fibonacci. So you're doing what we just did, but similar. So what I would recommend doing is that code that we just wrote, copy and paste it into your new one and modify it to do the project. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.